Alright, hey guys. I've just finished watching the Zenless Zone Zero livestream from just yesterday. I want to talk about this game because I've had some people asking me, naturally as you would, seeing as I'm kind of in this gacha space, about this game and if I'm playing it. And I figured I'd just put my thoughts out. I want to watch the livestream for a slightly more informed opinion because I'd seen stuff on this game before, but mostly like snippets and random bits of gameplay and stuff and just some animated scenes and all that kind of stuff. I will say I'm going to be very honest about my thoughts here. There's going to be good and bad. I'm going to split it into kind of pros and cons and talk through it. My overall feeling, I'll say up front though, is I'm just not sure. I'm not sure yet, like if this game is for me or if it's going to certainly hold my attention if I do end up trying it. But I'm going to be very honest with you guys as I say, like, I know there's a lot of people in the gacha space that are very positive. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. I feel like there are some people that kind of mask their true thoughts to keep that era positivity out there, which, you know, is fine. But for me, I'm always going to be completely honest with my thoughts in any situation. So I'm going to go through, as I say, some pros and cons. Just list off some things, what I thought about what they showed, and just everything so far that we've seen. So let's start with the good stuff, the pros. The animations have always been quite nice in this game. I mean, just from what I'm seeing, the animations, even before this live stream, I saw quite a bit, like certain cutscenes, like the Nekomata cutscene, that's got like a couple of million views. It's really good. So animations overall, even included in combat, are really nice. And certainly for cutscenes I've seen, very, very alive looking. Just to add to that as well, the art in the game is kind of something Hoyo never really, in my opinion, slips on, is the art. It always looks great, like the key art, character art, all of that stuff is like on point. Give credit where it's due to Hoyo, they always do a great job in the art departments, just in general. Just other positives as well, kind of relating to that, going on with that. Character models actually look really nice. Again, something I've seen like everyone else, but for a while now. My favourite designs, I will say, Nekomata, Piper, who they actually just announced, new character coming, Anbi, Kaleda, Miab, and Aokaku, I think you say, is how you say it, the blue little devil looking girl. I like the designs, they're very cute, they're very lovely looking. Yeah, I'm on board with the designs. And there's one character as well they showed from, there's different factions in the game, so one of it was called, I've got some notes here by the way, I am reading from, kind of cheating, just to keep my thoughts in order. The Criminal Investigation Special Response Team, that girl with the green hair, I like the look of as well. So these characters look really nice. Nekomata always stood out to me, I like cat girls, I'm sorry, what can I say? They look really good though. Character designs are good right now. Another pro on that note as well, the NPC models look quite varied, actually, from what they were showing out in the world, which is a nice touch, of course. You want to see NPCs that look different and not copy-pasted types, needless to say. And I do like the idea as well. I mentioned one of the factions earlier. So yeah, there's different groups the characters belong to, different kind of factions in the story, which, I mean, that's not anything particularly unique in itself, but the unique element comes in with kind of what they are. Like the Victoria Housekeeping Company one was kind of funny, kind of cute as well. So yeah, that's a cool thing, just to separate the personalities. You maybe get a feel for what those people are like in that faction, and they probably have the same kind of vibe and interest to an extent. But we'll see. It sounded pretty cool from what they were describing. I'll get on to cons in a second, because that's all the stuff I really do like. A lot of the presentation stuff generally is pretty good. The character design, stuff like that. The animations look really nice. Before I do move on, there was something else. The Perfect Assist feature in combat looks pretty cool. You switch in a character at the right time when enemy attacks, for like a counter or parry type thing with a new character coming in. Kind of familiar to those of us that play Wuthering Waves, I will say, but you know, it's like a similar type of thing, albeit slightly different because you have to do it when, as a parry, to get your new character in as like a counter, so kind of interesting. Not a bad little feature to the gameplay there, a little addition. Other observation, I didn't list this as like a pro or a con, because it was just something else. Just they've got like assist type creatures that you can use called bamboos. which actually sound like echoes from Wuthering Waves. It's kind of funny again. Just reminded me of that, albeit probably quite a bit more limited. And there's actually a unique pull currency for these called Bupon, which you get through events and playing certain game modes, as they put it. But the Bangbu creatures you can get through pulling with that currency. And one of the nice things, to be fair, is you get a selector for the Bambus on, like, I guess the Bambu banner, however it's going to be presented. So if you want a specific one, you actually do have a selector that you can switch between as well and retain your guarantee count or your pity count if you want to switch your choice, which is good. I mean, that's a great thing. Can't knock that. Getting into con territory and where I'm more skeptical and not as like fussed on stuff I'm seeing, to be honest. And just where I'm skeptical, just being honest now. So I get the sense, really, from watching this and from what I've seen before, that the gameplay formula, the loop, might get repetitive quite quickly. Even with the simulated universe thing they showed, that's cool and all, but I just feel like the combat itself and the area design, like it's not an open world game, it's segmented. I'm not sure about it. I don't know if it's going to be very open. I didn't play any of the CPTs at all, so I'm not sure, and I haven't watched too much gameplay. It looks, from what I've seen, though, fairly linear, and I just feel like the loop in the gameplay might just not hold my interest. I don't know about you guys. Maybe some people have similar concerns. But we just have to see, I suppose. And another thing for me, a lot of this I know is subjective, but bear with me. Again, this is my opinion, a lot of it, so that's what you guys are here for, right? And maybe you agree, maybe you don't. Have the discussion in the comments, that's totally fine. The overall vibe of the game to me feels a little generic. I'm not going to lie, it just does. I'm not usually a huge fan of, well, the urban style of it. I don't know what it is. It's not a con inherently. Like Persona 5 is in an urban setting, and actually this game seems to, it's kind of reminded me of that in ways with like the coffee shop, which actually is being shown now, the coffee stuff. The different areas like in the hub around the city and all that. I don't know, it's just not my preferred vibe of a game. And it kind of relates to the music too, which I'll get onto in a minute, because the music goes hand in hand with the kind of vibe they're presenting, with it being an urban setting. I'm not sure about it. And yeah, that goes along with the music, as I say. Like, there's a lot of like techno-y, hip-hop sounding type stuff, which isn't really my sort of thing so much. I've not heard any tracks that gel super well with me so far. Again, subjective stuff, I know. What else am I going to say, really? A lot of the systems for combat don't look bad. My worry about it, again, is that I think it looks like it'll become repetitive. The loop, I feel like, might just be that way. One other thing to add here is, so character models, I said, look really nice, and they do. They look lovely. They're looking very nice. Like, how you just know what they're doing with their character designs, obviously. They really understand, I think, what people like about, like, anime characters, frankly, and just how to make a well-designed, nice-looking character a beautiful character, But outside of character models, is it just me, or the general look of the game itself? Like, I like the hub in terms of the variety of places and all that, but I feel like it looks a bit plain. Like, I feel like the texture work is very, almost undetailed. Like, very simple textures in places. It almost looks unfinished. I mean, what they've shown is presumably what they're putting out, because it's coming out in a few days, right? Not all of it looks like that. I mean, like, we're seeing on screen now, actually. Like, in the apartments here, the bed and stuff. There's detail in the environments in places, but when you're walking around the streets, the texture work feels... It doesn't... I don't know, it looks like it needs a bit more detail, in my opinion, anyway, in places. Few more things just going on the different topics here. I've got, these are listed in cons, of course, as I said earlier, and as you guys are probably getting the impression of, these are things I'm just not sure about or not really fussed about. But the 100 polls thing, they've been putting this out there now, and of course they haven't done the stream as the announcement. Guys, you're not getting 100 free polls in the mail. You're not. I just don't think you are. I think that's just an illusion. It's going to be, and they even said there's like a stipulation on there, or not stipulation, but like an added line saying, get these polls while playing or whatever, 100 free polls when you play or through playing. The thing is, Wuthering Waves essentially is giving you that now in 1.1 by just playing, right? And Genshin as well. if we mention new players to Genshin Impact right now, people are going to have probably hundreds of polls to get with all the content in Genshin from over the years if they're brand new to the game. So I feel like this is just an illusion, just to make you guys look at it and be like, oh wow, that's so generous. I think you'd be getting those polls anyway. They're just saying, maybe they're adding a little bit in for the launch. Okay, fair enough. We'll have to see when it actually comes out what it is, but I just don't think they're going to be as generous as people are thinking there. I think it's really an illusion, again, to say, come play, and you'll just get these polls as you play. As you would, you know? But they're also giving apparently 80 of those Bangbu or Bupon polls, the Bupon currency, which probably will be the same. I don't know how that's obtained. Maybe it's just through playing, just like the regular polls you get. I'm not sure. We'll have to see. Maybe people know more about that. Now, lastly, and for me, I'm sorry to say, this is probably the biggest thing that leads me to being skeptical. And I know people will probably be like, oh, that's kind of crazy because Honkai Star Rail exists. I understand that, but you have to understand my perspective as well. So it being a Hoyo game inherently is leading me to being skeptical about it. I'm sorry, I've got so much time in Genshin, I've just seen what this company is like, at least on that front with that game. So there's already an unfortunate precedent for me and stigma kind of in my mind that they need to work to get out of my head. And it already just really puts me off from any Hoyo game. I'm actually looking at them like the modern day Disney of like anime games, I guess, or gacha games, like in this space. And I'll just summarize this again. It's Hoyo's inaction, for me, that's the cause, the ultimate, not just the inaction, but it's the big cause for me of my dislike with them as a company, where my unwillingness is stemming in terms of like trying new games they put out. I don't know. But that's it, honestly. That was my list. So, quite a lot of good stuff to talk about, to be fair, there is. I mean, they showed more in this live stream. I learned new things. Some things sound cool on paper right now, a lot of it. Looking at it, though, I'm not sure about the loop. Once again, you guys might have similar opinions. I just feel like it's going to get old quick. I feel like the characters themselves are really going to hold this game up in your level of interest in the game. For me, I think that would be the case, looking at it, more so than the game itself. I don't know if I'm crazy, but ultimately I would need to get hands-on, I think, which I'm not completely opposed to trying this game at all. I'm not. It's coming out soon, so I may give it a go. I may do a stream on it, and we'll talk through it. But those are my initial thoughts, a mix of a bit of good and bad. A lot of the bad is a lot of skepticism on my part, admittedly. But even with like systems, again, combat gameplay, I'm not sure about, and just general level design. If the levels are set up like one of my favorite franchises, actually, comes to mind, Stalker. Stalker's not open world entirely, but it has segmented areas which are quite large. It has like almost like a miniature open world with the areas. So, you know, you do one area, it's like a miniature open world type area, and you'll go to another, and you load into new areas that way. But from what I've seen, it looks more linear. Am I wrong? Do people know more about that? Maybe I'll need to watch more CBT footage, or you guys can just tell me below. I don't know. We'll have to see. But those are my concerns. Those are the pros that I think and what I like and whatnot. Let me know what you guys think below. We'll have a little chat about it. I'm sure there's probably more. There's plenty to talk about. I'm sure this is kind of a, well, uncut video. Just talking through these things with a little bit of script here to talk through to organize what I'm talking about. But yeah, launches in a few days, so we'll see what people are thinking. And like I say, I'm not against just trying it and maybe having a stream with you guys and seeing what we think, right? So that'll be it, guys. And oh yeah, new microphone. I ended up going for the HyperX solo cast. It's funny because Hexjuice, in her reaction to one of my earlier videos, that big one where I was talking about Genshin, quitting Genshin, she mentions the quadcast, HyperX quadcast is a good choice. So I looked into it a bit and I saw the solo cast for like half the price. And I was like, how different do these sound? And they sound fairly similar, although I might need to do some more tweaking, some tweaking to the audio. I don't know exactly how it's going to sound. I've tested it a bit and I've got some gain on it, so it'll sound a bit louder. It should sound a lot better than the one I had. But let me know what you think. I can do some adjustments. If you guys have any other suggestions of what might be better for the microphone, let me know. And yeah, that'll be it, guys. I'll speak to you down below, and I'll see you next time.